Tobias Stieler's happy. So off we go, and it is the away side to roll the ball back. They have the greater job to do, trailing by 2-0, having lost the home leg 4 days ago. The side from the third tier has won the last 4 of these playoffs, and 12 of the 16 overall. The Bundesliga's playoff has had a habit of going the Bundesliga side's way. This one, more often than not, has been won by the side in the division below. Not so much a gap between the top of that and the bottom of the Zweite Bundesliga. But Braunschweig have to make sure they complete the job. Saarbrüken have to make sure, really, that they are the ones that score first. They were caught on the counter in the first game. The gap between the sides becoming evident as the game wore on. It was pretty close in the first period. And here come Eintracht Braunschweig again, with a chance to put the ball in for the first time. And it is Christian Conte down the left-hand side who continues. He lasted just over an hour. Cleared by Becker in the first game, Conte. The younger brother of Salud Conte, who plays at Paderborn. An unfamiliar role for him with more defensive duty. He's normally a winger. He was excellent attacking from left wing-back. Involved in both the goals. Now 90 seconds in, Philippe has the chance to put the first corner in. Defended well, and the whistle has gone. So Saarbrüken will get the chance to clear. A little bit of pushing and shoving and a foul. Vicancic, I think, in the end. If you've heard the name Saarbrüken recently in German football, chances are it was because of their cup exploits, which saw them reach the semi-final last season, and in the 2019-2020 season when they were still a fourth-tier side, the first from that level to do so. Beaten by Leverkusen back then, beaten by Kaiserslautern last season, but only after they'd already knocked out a host of big names: Bayern, Frankfurt and Borussia Mönchengladbach. There's Maurice Mordhau, the former Eintracht Braunschweig man, now looking to attack them with Saarbrüken. Away goes the ball, but it's returned with interest. No real danger from Krüger, and bowled out quickly to allow Braunschweig to attack. It's kept in by Philippe here. The Frenchman will have to do much of this himself. He's gone ahead of everybody. He's hit that into Bichsel. Here's Lino Tempelmann, who was quickly closed down by Vassiliadis. He's another with Bundesliga experience. Krüger, another who Braunschweig know very, very well. He was on loan from Groningen there last season. And he joined Beerschot of Belgium, and now he's on loan from them. Played in the Bundesliga too for Arminia Bielefeld. Here comes the throw from Krüger. Nothing doing, and it has run out of play. Rebic tried to let it run through. Here's a canny, an experienced operator, Oliver Schwarz. Promoted twice to the Bundesliga as a player with Stuttgarter Kickers, and once to the Zweite Bundesliga with Rot-Weiß Essen, but he's also taken Karlsruhe up to this level, the Zweite Bundesliga, as a coach. Been with Nürnberg and Hansa Rostock, as well as Sandhausen twice. Like Frieden Funke, who took FC Köln up late in the season. He is one of those who is something of a specialist in promotion. Pulled up by Menzel. Of all the players, he actually was one of their best in the first leg. Beaten twice in the second half, but still did well, making a number of decent saves. Sontheimer, the skipper, goes back. Both have a back three. In the middle is Sven Sonnenberg. He goes out to Becker, who looks early, but it's pinched away, and this is what they said they shouldn't do. Lose the ball and allow the break. Here's Conte. Alois Schwartz said uppermost in the minds and in the training program this week has been avoiding quick turnovers. Braunschweig so dangerous on the counter-attack. They have been vulnerable in the opening 15 minutes, though. They've let in the most of any German professional side in the opening quarter of an hour. They've got a third of the way through successfully. Here's Conte. Will hope to last a little longer. He barely played this season, which is the main reason. Christian Conte only had 48 minutes of action before that first leg. Chik away. Another, the skipper, who has Bundesliga experience, 8 years at Hoffenheim. Zornberg in the mask. And transferred very quickly forward. And there's a lovely early ball looking for Krüger. And Mordhalp had pulled away. This is Vasiliadis, who is more of a striker in his time. But he'll get forward well from that attacking midfield role. They have to be a little bit more adventurous, well, a lot more adventurous if we're being absolutely honest, and this is a good example of that. Rebic putting it in early, Krüger just a couple of paces away. I think he'd like him to have been up with the play. Here's Conte. Sonnenberg. First season back in German football after 3 in the Netherlands with Heracles Almelo. They've got to move it a little bit quicker. Mortal. Back to Becker. Sonnenberg forward. And they'll have to chase back again. Started too cautiously, Schwartz said. Didn't put pressure on the Braunschweig defence. The side, as I mentioned, you do concede an awful lot early on. Allowed them to settle. Only had 7 shots. Their fewest in a home game throughout the whole season. Jekyll stepping in, the former Union man. But that is given away to Sontheimer. They're going to try and build from back to front, though, much of the time by the looks of it. Dominic Becker seeing a lot of it in the build-up. Chipped forward by Sontheimer. In his 6th season at this level. Scored a goal in their cup win over Bayern. Marcel Gauss got the winner in stoppage time to send them through. Rick Müller with the throw. More direct and attacking one. Ryan Philippe has Tempelmann in the middle. Porter making up ground now. Here is Tempelmann again. He's becoming the danger man for them. And Saarbrüken would do well to keep an eye on him. 4 of his last 5 goals have been the opening goal. Conte looking to line it up and has done. Brilliant ball. Oh, there was a big chance for Porter at the far post. It sat up so well. And Conte whipped it across. Got the beating of Farner. And that's such a teasing one. That has to go in. Sebastian Porter with a huge ricket. He did his best. He certainly didn't. That is poor finishing from a man who's been off his game. He's got the nod here, but he's only got 2 goals, and one of those was on the final day. Started both playoffs now. His first start in 7 weeks in the first of them. Over 100 Bundesliga appearances. You'd expect a man of his experience to put that away. Played for the likes of Wolfsburg, Nuremberg, Mainz and Union and Bochum, all in the Bundesliga in recent seasons. He was on loan at Darmstadt in the second half of last season, on the previous campaign. Resulto got back. Rick Müller trying to move it down that side. Gómez hasn't seen much of the ball yet, the US winger, who's over on the right-hand side. It's not aimed towards him again. It's Porter who drops a little deeper for it. No doubt he is a good foil, and he's a good man to have as a target man. He'll be desperate to make amends for that miss, though. Johan Gómez. Well, they haven't gone down that right as much as yet. There's Porter doing what he does well. Winning the ball, but knocking it out of play. Resulto. Back to his skipper. Tempelmann in the center. Jäkel. Polder beaten to it. The advantage goes Eintracht Braunschweig's way. Tempelmann with Conte on one side. 2 to aim for, 3 now for Conte. Will have to try and keep this in. He has. And there's no space at the near post for Gómez. Once again, that man, Christian Conte, is proving difficult to keep quiet. Good win of the ball, actually. No danger of a foul. Sonnenberg was the defender, and then he had to try and cut it back, and it is Sontheimer who puts it away. Saarbrücken have to be wary of Christian Conte. Here's Ryan Philippe's corner. Now Conte's the man caught out. And this is the kind of break that Rabic wants to be able to create. He's carried it deep. Krüger. Was Multaup in the end. Nothing doing there for Vassiliadis. Away by Jäkel. And away with a good distance too. Picked up by Joel Bichel, a Swiss defender. Back to Becker. And now Philipp Farner. Running forward from wing-back. Multaup decides to go back instead. Sonnenberg. Saarbrücken have had much of the ball here. Not really in useful areas. Rabic can try and make something of it. Farner. Every time they do get the ball, there is an immediate press on them, and he wasn't that effective in the first leg for Schwarz's side, mainly because of Conte pushing him back all the time. That's what's happened in the opening 14 minutes, but just over the last couple, Farner has managed to get some good ground. That did stay in play, and here is the right wing back again. Infield to Vassiliadis. There's another who's played in the Bundesliga for Arminia Bielefeld and Paderborn, relegated in both of his seasons. He is waiting and making up good ground, and Krüger managed to find him. Good link-up play between those two. Krüger forced a little wide. No real job to do as yet for Ron Torben Hoffmann, who was back in the first leg, missed the final day through illness. Vasiliadis goes back. Well, they've reached the 15-minute mark without letting a goal in, and there hasn't really been much of a threat on the home side's goal. Playing for a draw is not in the makeup against what Fitzner called an intense and physically strong team. A team that by their nature create an awful lot of duels. They don't have their own target man, Brunke, but he is available on the bench. And have gone for someone a little more mobile in Krüger. Two players, along with Morthaupt, that Fitzner was able to prepare for, having known them very, very well, coaching them here. Hoffmann drops that one in, but there is nobody in the yellow and blue there. Farner. Becker. Again, that quick turnover, and Tempelmann, with a real bit of class, drives forward. Vasiliadis, good and strong. Knew what he needed to do and did it well. Conte diving to put it away. It's a good ball for Philippe as well. Rabic making a nuisance of himself, but every time they try to slide that ball through, it doesn't work out. And Eintracht Braunschweig with Tempelmann have been pretty good on the break. Krause played it along to him, the experienced head of the centre of the park. Here he is again, most experienced in this post-season competition as well. Robin Klause, his fourth time in these playoffs, 3 in a row with Ingolstadt. Away by Becker. There is Vasiliadis, who's already looking like he's going to be key. Rabic chance to do a little too much. Jekyll can turn it back. Sonnenberg didn't want to get caught out by Sebastian Porter. Krause knocked over. Hard to bully off the ball. Prior to last week, the previous 4 games between these two were all in the 3rd tier. Our hosts here have the slight advantage over the 25 meetings, 11 wins to 8. In the end, it's a short one from Sven Köhler, starting on the left of that back three instead of Yanis Nicolaou. Early ball from Philippe. Now he picks it up again. And Gómez running up ahead of him. He just overplayed that. Conte let it go. There might be a free kick though for the challenge off the ball. just a little late, Lino Tempelmann. Conte snaffles it away. This is where they can be dangerous. Right through the centre he looks. Right idea for Gómez. Not quite the right weight on the ball. Vassiliadis in field. And a foul from Rabic. Started every game this year. Not much in that, you have to say. Krause went down, holding his knee. After what was just a collision between the two knees, really, rather than Kazim Rabic actually looking like making a foul. He is making a note of all the time. Time is on their side. However, playing for a draw is not the wisest of moves. I think they'll want an early goal if they can in the first half. Probably should have had one. Polter's chance the best of the game so far, the only real one of the game so far, as we edge towards the midway point of this first 45. Kluge with a little layoff and spin. Doesn't get the return ball because Braunschweig again are pressing and harrying and hustling and not letting them have time on the ball. Chest off from Porter to Gómez. Here's a bruising one. In comes Kula. One more top.
Here's Dominic Becker. Like many of his teammates, he came through the ranks at big clubs like Köln and Werder Bremen, but didn't manage a first-team appearance and dropped down to build back up again. Kluge is putting the pressure on. They've dealt with that. Hoffmann long this time. When you've got someone like Porter to aim for, and it's always an easy out ball. Conte. They seem to have got a little more wise, Saarbrücken, to the space that Christian Conte was being afforded down the left-hand side. It's almost a costly slip by Jekyll on what is a pretty slippery, greasy surface, given the rain that has been here for much of the day. Really effusive in his praise. Witzner of Conte and his performance. That looked like a foul. Porter held up. Certainly does his bit to win those kind of duels and fouls, Sebastian Porter. There's Becker. In between Philippe and Porter. Tempelmann for Conte. Fana. There's the man coming across to chase. Try and close him down. They haven't doubled up as yet on Christian Conte. Tempelmann
for that little dart from Gómez. Sonnenberg has tracked it. Already the man in the middle, Tempelmann, who is making things click. Gómez. All the way back goes Köhler. So they can switch and build down the other side with Jäkel. Straight through the middle. Gómez with the dart again, just overhit. Sonnenberg went with him, but that's the right idea. He's certainly getting in positions. Johan Gómez making those runs, pulling defenders out of the way, but at the moment it is not helping Eintracht Braunschweig. Just the one real effort on goal. That was a fluffed one from Polter. Gómez again though. This is looking better. Conte. Fana is the one who's trying to keep a hold of him. That is wild and uncontrolled from Christian Conte. Worth having a look at. Certainly when he cut back in field on his right foot. Never scored for the club. That wasn't about to change that. Only joined them full free from Osnabrück last summer, but you can tell just how pleased Philipp Menzel was with his defending. He was in the Austrian Bundesliga before this season with Austria Klagenfurt. Polter just ahead of Gómez, who dived in late. These two, as I mentioned, big Traditionsverein, as the Germans would say, big established traditional clubs, founder Bundesliga members. They actually both competed in the European Cup as well. Eintracht Braunschweig as Bundesliga winners. They were beaten by Juventus in the end in the quarter-final in 1968 after a playoff. Second legs didn't go to extra time and penalties in those days. It was 3-3 on aggregate after two legs. They had to play an entire other game. Saarbrüken competed in the first ever European Cup, 1955-56, beaten by AC Milan in the first round, but a notable period in their history. Has gone all the way through, almost to Vassiliadis. On by Sonnenberg. Chips all the way out from the back. They got the ball clear and then landed on Rabic's foot. Sondheimer for Krüger, who's pulled about a little bit deeper. Vassiliadis nearly. Different kind of approach, more direct. Maybe that's what they need to do a little bit more of as Ritzmüller starts the momentum again for Eintracht Braunschweig. Conte really look up before he popped that in, and Sonnenberg can just take a leisurely swipe with his right foot. way back from inside Saarbrüken territory. Did eventually fall for Porter. Now Ian Philippe is onside. First chance for him. Takes a touch, maybe one too many. And a good save from the goalkeeper. Could have hit it earlier, maybe should have done. Allowed Menzel to get closer. And it's another big save in the context of the game. It looked like he might be offside. We do have VAR. Matthias Jollenbeck would have had a good look at that. Should that have gone in the back of the net? Conte. Not as quick as his brother, who was briefly the Bundesliga's fastest player. There's a decent crossfield ball for Fana. There's a clumsy challenge from him. And Johan Gómez has come all the way back to help out defensively. Just leaned in with the right arm. Well, they won't mind too much if they don't see a goal. It's their side that finishes on the winning end over the 2 games on aggregate. Fana to knock one long. Kluger, more often than not, isn't the man that they're targeting. Nordhop or Rebic is that. Here's Tempelmann. Polter. Back for Lino Tempelmann, who's really discovered his goal-scoring form here. Had 7 goals in 106 professional games before joining in January on loan from Schalke. Now he's got 7 goals in 17 games in the Zweite Bundesliga for Eintracht Braunschweig. One by Porter, but nothing doing with the flick on Tempelmann. It does make things happen, and is. Conte. He's done well there. Now Gómez. He's got beyond the defender. And he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. He's standing firm, even if his defenders are having trouble. Good early ball. Sonnenberg moved to the side. Good positioning. Closed his legs at the vital moment. Philipp Menzel. Rebic for Sondheimer. They are trying to move it a little quicker, but every time they do, Eintracht Braunschweig seem to be right there with them. Contact. You can try and see it out. Hasn't managed to. Farner's done well. Oh, this is a good chance for Farner. Not the best cross, though. Look how many white shirts were there. Look at the opportunities that might have been. Having done so well to win it back, and here he is again. Vassiliadis looking to dink one to the far side. I haven't mentioned this man too much, but here is Calogero Rizzuto. And there's Vassiliadis sticking out a left foot. Well, it's better. And the man down the left-hand side with a lovely little reverse ball. He had to take it early. And in the end, it is always rising, but it's more invention. Must be nervy for a man who has the club deep in his heart. They're not the only side who have switched coaches for a playoff and have it worked out. Nuremberg did in 2020 and they survived. Kaiserslautern did in 2022 with the Schuster and they came up. Through from Becker, but all the way through in the end. Inside the last 10. He'll be happy, Ron Torben Hoffmann, Braunschweig's goalkeeper, that he's had nothing to do. But it just takes one goal to alter the complexion and alter the confidence. Tempelmann. Vassiliadis has done that really, really well. He's in there as an attacker, but he's also not neglected his defensive duty, and that's 2 or 3 times now he's intercepted the ball. And there's a lovely ball all the way forward. Bikecic had to make sure he got there, and he did, and he does a little jump and salute to the crowd as he makes that intervention. And that just levels things up and brings the noise back. Certainly enjoyed that. Gómez held back. He could have the first yellow card here, and we do. Dominic Becker, punished by Tobias Stieler. Stopping a counter-attack. Making sure that the turnover ball did not come back at them. Two fouls. Saarbrüken wanted the first one. The second on Vassiliadis has actually been given against Karlsson. Although both went for the ball. The end of it's going to be Kazim Rabic. Is there a way through? The tactics in the way. Five to go. Down the line it goes. Krüger, who has pulled away, moved out, mostly dropping deeper into the right-hand side. And if that's the task, and if that is the game plan, then it hasn't actually worked, although he's seen a lot of the ball. He's not been able to link things up. Once again, it looks like a goalless first half between these two. Braunschweig having had the better of it. Crucially, they didn't get a goal. As far as Saarbrüken are concerned, the job remains the same. Tobias Stieler, the referee, has only done 4 Zweite Bundesliga games this season, but his first did involve Braunschweig. It was a 5-1 loss at Schalke on the opening weekend. This comes a couple of weekends before the Bundesliga got underway. Deliberately took it quickly before Gómez had retreated. The foul was by Tempelmann in the first instance. Here's Rabic again in fields. Nothing doing. He and Risuto are at least linking up a little more. He's made the dart down the left. Risuto now. Sonnenberg plays it short. Sondheim better. Krüger. Not better from him. Here's Tempelmann, still full of running. And with good acceleration, and now he's got support too. Referee's deemed that a foul. And he's going to have a word. We're going to get a second yellow here, are we? For Saarbrüken. It looks like it. From the wing-back, Philipp Fahner, who came across. Didn't get on the ball. Didn't make any attempt to play the ball. He becomes the second Saarbrüken defender to go into the book. Two minutes to go. Focus needed from Philipp Menzel and his defenders to see off this one. Philippe, the Frenchman, over the ball. Can have a shot. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, it did yield something, but still. Not sure what he was expecting from here. Sven Köhler, another who's never scored for the club. 44 minutes on the clock. Ryan Philippe prepares the corner. A bunch of defenders about to break, standing near the penalty spot. Now they do, and it's over everyone's head. And that man, Philipp Menzel, has put himself in the spotlight a little bit with his performances. Can they yield something here, Saarbrüken? There's a corner, straight from one end to the other. Haven't had much in the way of set pieces. Braunschweig have been disciplined in that regard. into stoppage time we go. Tobias Stieler, the referee, has his eyes on those in the middle. There's an easy one for Ron Torben Hoffmann. Neatly done by Porter. Gómez steps on the ball. He will get a free kick. Quickly taken. Quickly in. Fana had a little think there about popping it back to his goalkeeper. He's lost out to Conte. Christian Conte. And this is going to obligingly roll out of play for a corner. Now he wants a free kick. Fana can't believe it. He thinks he was fair. And he's got to be careful. He's just been booked. Well, of all the Eintracht Braunschweig players, he has been the most handful. Both have got a decent grip on each other. And then that right leg from Fana is what has caused the trouble here. Might be the last action, this, as it comes into the far post. And there is half-time. And I'm trying. So it's the hosts who get us off and underway. 45 minutes from retaining their place in the Zweite Bundesliga. They have Levente Sabo, a recent Hungarian international on. He made his debut in November and was also a sub in March in the Nations League playoff. Eliza Kran is the man who has come on for Saarbrüken. And we got a few pyrotechnics before the game. We've got a few more now. It's Müller. There goes the PA announcement, asking them to refrain from any more. Sven Zornenberg in the mask, pops it down. It's Müller providing the screen. Dujactic had a real hold on Vassiliadis and Krüger. Those two, probably the livelier two for Saarbrücken. Oh, given that away, Conte, who was the liveliest for Eintracht Braunschweig. Tempelmann not far behind. He had a very good first half without actually having a shot at goal himself. Here's Ryan Philippe looking for Gómez. Didn't find him. Didn't find Levente Sabo as well. They have to be a little more direct, I think, Saarbrücken. Muthoff, the former Eintracht Braunschweig man, with the first initial dart there. Köhler with the covering. Well, as you can see, some cameras are more effective than others, but the smoke from those pyrotechnics is swirling and hanging in the damp air again. It delayed the start of the game. It is now going to hold us up just 2 minutes into the second half. That's one of the main two cameras for the broadcast, which is struggling to see through the mist. You'd imagine down pitch side the view is not that much better. We had a good 3 or 4 minutes at least before the first half could actually get underway. The away supporters, who have managed to secrete those things on their person and bring them into the game, have now caused another stoppage. Reminder of who's who on the bench.
on the way through. It might not be too long before Patrick Schmidt is called upon if Saarbrücken still struggle to find a way through. You can just about make out Sebastian Vassiliadis, who was bright and lively in the first half. Kai Brünker as well. I'm a bit surprised in a way that he hasn't come on at half-time. Alois Schwartz sticking with the approach that he had in the first period, which was the more mobile Florian Krüger playing up top. Doesn't matter how mobile you are, you can't outrun this smoke. Can't exactly say how long it'll take. It did take about 4 minutes for the smoke to lift at the start of the game, with rain in the air. It is a damp and misty evening anyway. Once Tobias Stieler is happy, then, and only then, will we get back off and underway. He's just pointing out to Sabo, and it's the broadcast cameras as well. You can just about see, and so can we. Here is Köhler. Or Bichler, I should say. Stolen away by Johan Gómez. And Gómez into the area. Well covered. And it needed to be by Sonnenberg. A bit of a let-off for the Swiss defender, who just took a heavy touch, and Johan Gómez was in. Sonnenberg wasn't fooled by that little feint. Five minutes in, Eintracht Braunschweig probably one goal away from making this very, very secure indeed, although these playoffs, particularly those between the Bundesliga and the Zweite Bundesliga, have been tricky. There's the header and nothing happens. Fortuna Düsseldorf leading 3-0 at the midway point last season, only for Bochum to come back and win it on penalties in Düsseldorf after a 3-0 success there. Jakic is rubbing the back of his head after that one. He came very close actually in the second half 4 days ago. Philip Menzel with a fine save to deny him on that occasion. Here he's surrounded by players. Sonnenberg has his right foot landed on by Szabo, who's toppling over under pressure, and that is why Saarbrücken's defender is gingerly hopping around a little bit. That is Bichsel losing the ball. Gómez had the chance to square it. He is okay. Made of stern stuff. I'm not sure about Sven Sonnenberg though, because it was an awkward landing. His foot trapped beneath Levente Szabo. The air is getting clearer and clearer, and he looks like he's going to limp on through. Marvin Rittmüller is the man preparing to take the throw. Sonnenberg still not yet back on. Rittmüller challenged firmly by Rabihic. Jekyll got that one completely wrong.
Well, if they do get to the 70-minute mark, there's still no goals, and then Saarbrücken score, well, he'd be delighted, but I think it might make for a very nervy conclusion to the game if Eintracht Braunschweig cannot at least find one goal in their own stadium. They'd already found one by this time in the first leg. Philly. Well, he would have been part of their homework, and they have done a decent job for much of it of keeping Graham Philip quiet. There is Krüger. Philip for Becker. Now Sonnenberg, instantly recognisable. Not only is he very, very tall, but he has that carbon fibre mask on, but that's not the best ball from Sven Sonnenberg, looking down that left-hand channel. Still has the likes of Fabio Kaufmann, Walid Olcik, and Fabio Di Michele Sanchez as well. He's got an awful lot of attacking talent on the bench, actually. Fitzner, Richmond Tashi is there as well. Zidi Sané. A name that fans haven't seen too much of this season. And Kran. Kran coming on, has meant Rizzuto has moved back over to the right-hand side. Might be a little more effective there. He didn't play too big a part in the game in the first half. Now he is the one up against Conte. Philip Fowler found himself pushed back and back. There's the return ball. Rittmüller not quite quick enough. Although Vassiliadis, who chased him back, looked like he might have felt something. You can see him gingerly running in the bottom right of the picture. Köhler. Well, that's neatly done from Conte. And he jinked his way through. Rittmüller again. Really, without really anything to do. Perhaps Nick Sondheimer forwards. Now they can move it a little more quickly. Krüger doesn't get there though. Every time they've tried to up the pace, Braunschweig have kept pace. Little slip of the heels, nothing doing there. Nobody in Saarbo's path. Passing's been better. Our coach said it was way too sloppy last week. Same issues remain though. They didn't get in behind Eintracht Braunschweig's defence, and they still haven't here. That balance he talked about between stability and potentially risking a bit more going forward. Just it's been again a little bit more about the stability than the attack. A bit better guarding against counter-attacks. Maybe that has added to the caution, though, rather than the courage that they were looking for. Risotto. Kasim Rabic wins a throw, at least, just shy of the hour. Kruger. That's better. Led into a good area. Good covering, though, too, by Köhler. Contact. Not quite as free. They haven't made him the extra man. Saarbrücken have not allowed him to be found with such ease. Here he is, though. Up against Risotto again. Does mean is maybe Rittmüller on the other side is going to be the extra man if they can switch it quickly enough. Here's Johan Gómez. Philly into the path of Tempelmann. Tempelmann still going, and there's a foul by Risotto. Could be a yellow as well for the wing back. It is, just as he looked ready to pull the trigger. Third yellow card for Saarbrücken. Cut back in nicely, and it's clumsy. It is effective in that it snuffs it out. But so the referee wasn't fooled. Yellow card for Calogero Risotto. Well, he isn't going to last quite as long as he did the first time. Christian Conte. Despite another good showing, particularly early on in the first half, where he had the beating Philipp Fahner down that flank. He is going to make way. Still, decent to last an hour, having played 62 minutes just 4 days ago, and that with 48 minutes only of game time this year. Fabio Di Michele Sanchez is the man to come on. Conte done himself the world of good, I think, in putting himself back in the picture as a regular starter next season. A former Saarbrücken player who joined free from them last summer after 37 appearances. Di Michele Sanchez on the pitch against his old club. Philippe lining up the free kick. Five-man wall with another, and that's Philippe. And it is just over. Took it quickly, little back lift, cut across it, couldn't bring it down. Tempelmann is in there doing the defending. Now it's him that has caused the foul on Rabic. He felt the winger went down rather easily, but it is another set piece at this end of the pitch now. There's no real finesse about that, was there? Clattering into the back of him. Nowhere near the ball, nowhere near being able to get around him to get the ball. That's the Braunschweig fans who have the flares lit. That's not going to help visibility anything at all. We might be seeing Saarbrücken change in a moment. More than one, by the looks of it. We might have three. Kai Brunke preparing to come on. Tim Surveyor just pouring water on himself with the pink boots on. Dousing his shorts down for some reason. Patrick Schmidt is in that mix as well. Here goes the free kick to the far post where Sonnenberg was waiting. Robin Klaassen all the way across and doing what his captain did in the first half. Saluting the crowd after an important defensive header. That would have been tight against Sonnenberg anyway as to whether he was offside. He very nearly wrapped himself around the stanchion So here come the changes. Perhaps a surprise that Brunke didn't start, but he's coming on now for Rabic. Sevilla is going to replace Sebastian Vassiliadis in midfield. And the third change is Schmidt. And he's going to come on for Becker, I think. Looks like they're sacrificing a defender. So like for like. Maybe going 4 at the back. Top scorer, Kai Brunke. The man they call the tank. Can he make a difference here? There's the flick at the near post, and he nearly did. They're appealing for handball. And Tobias Stieler, at the moment, says corner. It's a better delivery from Sevilla. The first one, there's the flick. And they're saying handball against the defender on the line, Paul Jäckel. How much of his arm does it actually hit? He's leaning into it. He's in his shoulder. Him and Elijah Kran going for the ball at the same time. Well, this could be a huge moment. Just past the hour. Tobias Stieler's going to go and have a look. Well, this could be the lifeline Saarbrücken are looking for. And it happens straight after that triple change. Sevilla's corner, I think it was Multhaut, the former Eintracht Braunschweig man, that got the flick on. And what does Tobias Stieler think of this? Paul Jäckel going for the header. Oh, that's not good news when you see it from that angle. He's mistimed the header. It's hit his arm. The ball's not actually going anywhere but out of play anyway, but it's going to be a penalty. And Saarbrücken, midway through the second half, have got themselves a lifeline. Paul Jäckel launching himself towards the ball, the man on loan from Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. And now he's put his side in trouble. Kai Brunke just on. Does he fancy it? They're going to leave it instead for Florian Krüger, the former Eintracht Braunschweig man. Florian Krüger. Here he goes. And there it is. 1-0, and Saarbrücken have the moment they were waiting for. The former Braunschweig man, he was here on loan last season with his 8th goal. It's a confident penalty right down the middle. Hoffmann dived out of the way. And Saarbrücken, with one of their first efforts on goal, have found the back of the net. They've had nothing to shout about all game. 3/4 of the way through. Do they now have the belief to go on and find a second? He was involved in 7 goals in his last 10 regular season games. They didn't score 4 days ago. Now it is up to Eintracht Braunschweig here at home with the home backing to find a way to equalise. Do they need to make another change or two? Here comes the ball. Tabo, whose arrival hasn't yet sparked them into the kind of life that Saarbrücken just enjoyed. 1 corner, 1 flick on, 1 handball, and 1 goal. It is a time for cool heads if you're wearing the yellow and blue. Back by Sevilla. Still the home fans serenade their players, but with a quarter of the game to go. It is going to be a very nervy conclusion now. Sondheimer. They are at their most prolific, Saarbrücken, in the last 15 minutes of the first half, but that's passed without any kind of progress. They have lost only one of 22 games this season when scoring first. They don't need to lose this as long as they only win by 1 goal, according to Eintracht Braunschweig anyway. They've conceded a free kick here. Di Michele Sanchez is the one who's toppling over. He just runs into Sondheimer, who didn't seem to do too much wrong. Not long on the field, the replacement. Hoping to make a mark against his old club. This is another look at the flick on from another old Saarbrücken player. Another old Eintracht Braunschweig player, I should say. Here's the cool finish from Krüger. Just shy of 22,000 inside the stadium. Almost a sellout here. But it remains worrying for the man who's not been on the field too long, Di Michele Sanchez. Up gingerly he gets. Are we in this for the long haul? He said, we are only halfway through. The job's only half done. We cannot be complacent. We can be confident and have conviction. But we have to get the job done. It would be by the narrowest of margins if they lose this one by 1-0. Here comes the set piece. That's a decent delivery, but it's Brunke who nods it clear. Useful at both ends of the fields. Robin Krause under pressure from Kahn. There's nobody backing him up. Sondheimer can float one forward, looking for Brunke. Di Michele Sanchez now running freely again. 20 minutes to go in this crucial game between the side who finished third bottom in the Zweite Bundesliga and the side, Saarbrücken, who finished third in the Drittliga. Could have been Energie Cottbus this. They lost on the final day, while Saarbrücken won. Resulto. Definitely giving them a boost, the visitors. Nobody in field for that one, though. Tabo. Gómez hasn't been as prominent as he was in the latter stages of the first half. Rittmüller tries to bend one in. The link-up just isn't quite there. There's a lot of nerves and stress and worry among the home players. Graham Philippe has not quite been himself in the second half either. Risotto goes back. Rebic, Sevilla, Krüger. They've worked that one nicely. Brunke with the little touch off. Bichler was trying to drop it in there. Looks to have run off whatever trouble he had, the Swiss defender. Still with Saarbrüken. They were asking the questions now in early. And here's Schmidt making his way into the box. Bichler again. Turns in field. Finds his skipper, Sondheimer. The man who was the captain before. The armband has now been passed on. Schmidt and Brunke adding real physical presence and height. Saarbrüken won that one back well. He's looked for Philippe. He's only going to find Khan, and that's one for Hoffmann. They are edging nervously towards the last 15 minutes. Khan's header. Down goes Krause. Using a bit more of his experience, but if they don't find a goal, things are certainly going to be even nervier in about 10 minutes' time. Philly has done well. Threaded it through Tempelmann. And there's the effort just wide from Saarbrüken. Well, it's a rare shot in anger in the last 15 minutes or so. Gómez and Philippe, and finally defensive Saarbrüken. With Tempelmann setting it up. He had time to pick his spot there. Couldn't quite measure it. Rickmüller is off. Here come a couple of changes. Richmond Taxi and Fabio Kaufmann, another man coming on. Rickmüller making way down the right-hand side. And Gómez, it looks like, is the man to make way for Taxi. Well, they're the two most obvious changes if you're wanting to try and put a little bit more pressure on. Fabio Kaufmann, who can play wide or as an attacking midfielder. Both subs in the first leg. Taki had started the last 8 in the regular season before the first leg of this playoff. Sondheimer, Bichler. It's going to run away. Couple of late rolls of the dice from the man in the opposite dugout. Alois Schwarz. Well, his triple change certainly made the impact. He's got one left if he wants it. Manuel Zeitz, club captain, would be one option. Certainly, here's Sondheimer, has been wearing the armband for much of the game. Sevilla, lovely little ball through to find him. It's opening up here for Sevilla to hit one straight at the goalkeeper, but it's going to skid off the surface if you catch it right, and Tim Sevilla did. Just as well the defender didn't get a touch. That might have sent it either side of the goalkeeper. Kran for Saarbrüken, who've definitely got the bit between their teeth. And snapping into the challenges, winning them a little bit better. Tempelmann has not had things his own way. Sondheimer. Combinations are much better, much crisper for Saarbrüken. Sevilla putting himself about. One thing that the coaching staff did know is that Saarbrüken would be much more of a physical challenge. That has proved to be the case. Tempelmann barged out of the way. Fabio Kaufmann down the line for his fellow sub, Richmond Taki. Last appearance of his loan from Kaiserslautern. Surveyor. Oh, that's a brilliant ball right through the middle. Out comes the goalkeeper, and it's good defending from Bitacic as well. Just for a second, it very much looks like Maurice Murtock was onto that. It's a greasy, slippery ball, but it was one that he enjoyed getting, Ron Torben Hoffmann. It is not the controlled performance of the first period, though. Game's getting a little stretched. Maybe they'll get a chance on the break as a result, Eintracht Braunschweig, with Saarbrücken risking a little bit more. But at the moment, they look more likely to score next. Meanwhile, here's Taki. Well marshaled by Kran. Sontheimer. Sonnenberg. Risotto in field to Mordhaupt. It's a free kick. It's too strong. And with 10 minutes to go, it is a decent platform, this, for Saarbrücken. If anything, the first trouble he had was falling over by treading on the ball, but Jekyll is deemed to have fouled him. Surveyor and Risotto over the ball. Surveyor has certainly improved them, but he's overcooked that. Just as I gave him the big build-up, the young Albanian annoys his teammates by popping it out of play. Do they have the character to see this one out? They must be a little nervy. He too has one change left. The Eintracht Braunschweig coach, Mark Witzner. Well, if the fans are nervy, then the majority are trying to put it out of their minds and instead use their voices. Schmidt. Khan. Sontheimer pushes it out to the right-hand side. They do now have Brünker and Schmidt to aim for, to put crosses in from deep. Krüger, who does just that. He's gone back to his more typical wing role. Bichsel wing back now, rather than the left-sided centre-half. Given away, here's Saarbrücken, miles offside. Philly, he's going to pick it up anyway and waste a little bit of time. Maybe ask the question later. He can't. And the advantage goes Saarbrücken's way. He was so far offside, he could have just left it. Risotto. Down the line for Schmidt. They've got to be careful with how they deal with this. Brunke! It's 2-2! Remarkable! The two substitutes combine. And Eintracht Braunschweig have got all sorts of trouble now. Why didn't they just leave the offside? Instead, they did neither one thing nor the other. Rayan Philippe just seemed in two minds. It was a half-hearted swing. The offside acknowledged, the advantage going Saarbrücken's way. And they're short of numbers. Lovely little ball down this channel here. Schmidt with the turn and the run. And Brunke, just alert to what might be on. Gets there ahead of Jekyll. And suddenly, we are all square. Kai Brunke, the danger man, thrown on, along with Schmidt, and the two combine for Alois Schwarz. And suddenly it's looking like Saarbrücken's night. Well, level, 2-2 on aggregate. It's the second half display which has done it again, but this time it is for Saarbrücken. There's one straight through the middle. Is there going to be a foul? They may as well just get on with it. Rabic puts it wide. Or Multaup puts it wide, I should say. Well, what a moment that would have been for Mois Multaup against his old club. Straight down the middle. And they might well have looked at it and deemed it a foul anyway. But he couldn't bend it in. Braunschweig are all over the place at the moment. It is indeed a free kick with 5 minutes to go. They just have not looked like scoring in the second half, Eintracht Braunschweig. They've looked nervy. They gave a goal away with a silly handball, just a bit of misjudgment, really. And now their place in the second tier is hanging by a thread. Oh, if he could just change one thing, probably would be to just let Rayan Philippe just not bother going for that ball. He must have known he was a mile offside. Survey it. Too much on that. Not so. Lively now. It's the Saarbrücken fans that you can hear. And those fans are checking just how long is left. Saba wins the header. There's been no real threat on Philipp Menzel's goal in the second half. It's been a hugely disappointing display at home. All they needed was one goal, probably to kill the tie off and just make it too difficult to come back. Once again, these playoffs produce the drama. Foul by Brunke. Back in, little touch from Rayan Philippe. He still had to defend it properly. I mean, you can't apportion blame to him. He wasn't very effective at maybe just blasting one, or even just wasting time by hitting the ball over the top. He did neither one nor the other. He still didn't defend the counter-attack very well at all. Caught out by one of their own main weapons, really. Saarbrüken have been much better at guarding against Eintracht Braunschweig counters, but here they are with Fabio Kaufmann. This is promising, it's opening up nicely. Touched off, and here's Taki. Nobody wants to take it on. And eventually, when they do, the clearance comes in. They're appealing for something. I don't think it struck an arm. There is Ryan Philly. And it's clutched out of the air. And now they do ask the question. First time Kaufmann have been free. Philip got up. No real passion and power on the ball, though. Long from Mensah. I'm not sure there's time for either of these two to still win it. And if anybody's looked like winning it on aggregate, I should say, then it is the visitors. Gómez, who since departed, clocked as the fastest player. Bixen. Philippe took it down nicely. Has to play it more progressively. Di Michele Sanchez doesn't have time to dwell on things. Stoppage time is almost upon us. Di Michele Sanchez pulled down right on the edge of the box. That was a risky manoeuvre, and it's a second yellow for Risotto and a red, and he's off. And if we are going to extra time, then Saarbrücken are down to 10, and we have yet more late drama in this playoff. Alois Schwartz cannot believe it. Di Michele Sanchez got the better of him, and you can't talk your way out of a second yellow card. It's shoulder to shoulder initially, but then comes the foul. Saarbrücken, who've been in the ascendancy for much of the second half. Well, they might be taking it to extra time, but they're down to 10. Second yellow for Calogero Risotto. And a free kick for Eintracht Braunschweig. Back comes Krüger to help out with the defensive operation. Not sure there's too much in it when you look at it again. There didn't seem to be a contact on his foot, which is what Di Michele Sanchez was claiming. But he did use enough force to pull him back. Are we about to see a dramatic conclusion? The home side need a goal. They haven't been able to fashion one in 91.5 minutes here, despite playing a side from the division below, who have scored twice themselves. Ryan Philly looks the more likely to take this one. Could be Sven Köhler. Looks like it is going to be. Taki is there. Jekyll is there. Bicakcic is there. How's he going to approach this? He tries to whip it in towards goal. It surely isn't going to help. It's too high for everybody. Now he's in a corner. No, it is a goal kick. And it was not the delivery they were looking for. Krauser at the far post. Couldn't get up. Well, they only have themselves to blame. They were in control. They have let it slip. They have conceded twice. Eintracht Braunschweig to Saarbrücken. Once midway through from a penalty by Florian Krüger, their all-player. And once with 7 minutes to go, Kai Brünke scoring the decisive second. Klan back. We are not too long now from the final whistle. There is Brünke. Comes forward, Kaufmann delays too long. Sevilla, he's been excellent since coming on. Gets in the way. Kaufmann's throw, there'll be a corner, and there will be time. First though, there will be treatment. Skipper is down. All eyes on the referee, who has eyes on what's going on just by the penalty spot. Now they break. It's a deep one. Out comes the goalkeeper. Di Michele Sanchez back in there. Krüger away. Philippe with the deflected ball back in. Still we play on. We're over 5 now. Kaufmann's long throw, not really effective. Back it goes from Köhler. Has to go in the box. That's where everybody's waiting. No real elevation on that one, and Krüger can put it away. There's another half-hearted appeal for a handball. Tobias Stieler says nothing at the moment. Even the goalkeeper is appealing for handball, and he's down the other end of the pitch. Goalkeeping coach is out as well. They added a couple of players, old players, to the coaching list. It does hit the arm of Bixel, you know. That does hit the arm, and it's off Saarbrüken. It's not off a different part of Bixel's body. If it comes off his knee and then hits his arm, then it isn't handball if it's off a different part of a player's body, but that is off Saarbrüken, and then the arm, and it stops the ball going through. Well, they're all up. Jasmin Fejic, Ken Reichel, two of Mark Fitzner's former teammates. It's not going to be handball. That is a really lucky escape, because that looked to be a fairly definitive handball, having not come off the player before it then hit his arm. Not too different from Jekyll's handball. It stopped the ball from just going out of play for a goal kick. That one potentially stopped Braunschweig getting on the end of it. Kaufmann to Itaki. It's just a little slip, there's no contact. Lofts one to the far post, there's a free header. And he can't keep it down. Lino Tempelman, of all the people, he's the one you'd want it to fall to, given his form recently. It looks like Saarbrüken are going to escape, and we're going to have half an hour more. There's the flick from Brunke. 8 minutes now of additional time. Brunke is down. Is it Brunke? Yeah, it is after that flick up. Clash of heads. It's a painful one. He must be wondering how close that was to a penalty. It certainly looked from here like it would be given. Kaufmann. Last chance to pop it in. Oh, nobody on the far post. That's where you'd expect Tempelmann to pop up. Di Michele Sanchez. In low this time. Taken down by Ryan Philippe. And didn't catch it with the power he needed. Slipping as he hits it. Krüger. Do the 10 men dare to win it in normal time? They could do, you know. Oh, they probably should have done. It's not going to count anyway. The flag is up. Again, it's not the best finish. It's a kind of Ryan Philippe style finish. Surveyor's header. Just used his arm to control the ball. And still we play on. We're over 100 minutes now. Has to go in the box. There isn't much time left. Fabio Kaufmann. He slipped it through. Philippe has it. Krause. There's an air of expectation, but Saarbrüken are massing. Kaufmann, can he make it count? Not with a cross like that. Here is Tempelmann. That's over the top. Di Michele Sanchez wants the free kick, which I don't think he's going to get. Would have been a penalty if that had been given. 11 minutes of added time now. Tobias Stieler has a look at the watch. Well, they've had their time, Eintracht Braunschweig, to win this and not have to resort to extra time. But it is going to be extra time. After 101 minutes, there is no separating this. So off we go. So, as you heard, it is Zidane Sané, who was only in a matchday squad for the second time this season. The first was 4 days ago. The striker has never scored a senior goal. Makes his first appearance since starting on last season's final day. A 5-0 loss at Kaiserslautern. There's a little slice. Taki is the man making a nuisance of himself. A reminder that Saarbrüken are down to 10 men. Late in that second half, they had Calogero Rizzuto send off for a second yellow card, a foul on Di Michele Sanchez. many for his thoughts. Louis Schwartz, the man who's an expert in promotion battles. Sané, what can he do? Bit of an unknown quantity, certainly as far as Saarbrüken are concerned. He can't quite get himself on the end of that one, but it is the home side who have the impetus. We don't seem to have any score graphics, I'm not sure why, but Saarbrüken in white are leading by 2-0 after 2 second-half goals. And they've also had a man send off. Turkey. Feeling a lot of the game is going to be played here. And it comes from Dick. Kahn gets his chest on it, and he's just going to wait and let Sven Sonnenberg pop that one away. That's going to be a very, very deep one. Taki waiting. He won't get there. Potential foul on the edge of the box, not given. Sonnenberg away. He's dealt with most things. Mudhop trying to help out as well. We've got 2 balls on the pitch. Di Michele Sanchez pops that one in. A little chest down by Brunker. There's Sevilla winning the ball and winning the free kick. Klaassen, the experienced campaigner, in his 4th of these relegation playoffs. It's actually the first time either of these two have been in it. They've been in those between the Bundesliga and the Zweite Bundesliga, but they haven't been in this encounter before. As 3rd and 2nd tier sides. Mudhop. Zabo. He's getting the talking to. For his angry reaction. Sonnenberg, who's basically playing a different sport altogether there. And I think he's trying to point that out. He was the one wrestled to the ground in the first place. He does have the free kick. Lino Tempelman is over it. The man who needs to step up and start to influence the game, as he did certainly in the opening half hour, less so in the second period. Really get to grips with how Saarbrücken had changed the game. Fabio Di Michele Sanchez. Swept back to his goalkeeper. Here's Sané. There's done that pretty well. Upped away by Bissell. Di Michele Sanchez. Taki is pulled wide. It's more of a hopeful one. Khan has dealt with it. Sevilla. It's a very intelligent presence on the ball. He's also strong, but he has lost it here. Tempelmann. Always rising. There have been a few nearly moments, but not nearly enough in the game so far. Saarbrücken choosing this moment rather than the start of extra time to make a change. Lasse Wilhelm, he's going to replace Sven Soderberg, who looks like he's about to join the walking wounded. The experienced defender who's been wearing that mask to protect his face, but it's his leg which looks to be the issue here. Here comes the young defender, joined from Mainz last summer, having not managed to make a Bundesliga appearance for them. Came all the way through the ranks there. Soderberg is getting a very warm reception on the visiting bench. Cleverly done from Di Michele Sanchez. Kaufmann. Saarbrücken subs have had the bigger impact. Sevilla in midfield in particular. Schmidt and Brunke combining for the second goal, which has taken us to extra time. Here's the home side skipper, Ermin Bicacic. Richmond Taki. A bit of an attack against defence kind of tactical game. Tempelmann, can they move it around quickly enough to pull Saarbrücken out of position? Taki's deflected effort is over, and that will be a corner for the home side. Ryan Philippe prepares to deliver. His set pieces haven't quite been on the money yet. Can he do better here? Wilhelm away, and Kaufmann with a wild swipe. Not convincing at all. Survey. Soppheimer has forced it back. Was that the most recent of replacements? Lasse Wilhelm for Elijah Khan. Paul Jäckel, who started Saarbrücken's comeback inadvertently with his handball, which led to the penalty for their first goal. Taki. City's on it. Not able to whip that one in. Kaufmann neither. Jäckel in field, forced out to Di Michele Sanchez, who's seeing a lot of it. There's a teasing one, palmed away, and Sané following up goes behind. just at full stretch. Philip Mensa has had much less to do. In fact, if he hits that right, Zidizane, he's got a decent enough sight of goal here. Klan's in the way, but he can see space at the near post. Dropped into nobody in particular. Templeman just felt something as he played the ball off there to Taki. Waltholt has tracked back. They're all going to have to do their bit. These Saarbrüken players now. They have one fewer. Templeman gingerly feeling his right foot. He's running through the pain barrier initially, and then he feels something else there. They still have one change remaining. They've got a midfielder, Julian Bass. Extra change each, I think, because it's extra time. Jacob. Michele Sanchez away from Schmidt, and that's gone all the way through. Surveyor away, but there's absolutely nobody in white here. Saarbrücken's job is to resist and repel at the moment. Braunschweig doing all the attacking. Saarbrücken sitting deep. Hoping to take it to penalties and win their way back to the second tier. Zidizane. Philippe doesn't get there. Schmidt away. Even he now is essentially a centre half. Templeman. Carried into Taki, who's over on the other side now. Kaufman in from D. It's all a little bit hopeful. This side's organisation at the moment is winning out. Braunschweig still cannot find a way through in almost 100 well, it's more than 105 minutes. More like 120 given the stoppage time that we played at the end of the first and the second half. We're going to get one additional minute on the end of this one. Here we go. Taki. Well, there's another rugby tackle from Brunke, and that is one of the more obvious yellow cards of the game. He made sure there was no getting away. Once Sontheimer had a good go at trying to pull him down, Brunke did it in much less subtle fashion. A yellow card for one of Saarbrücken's coaching staff as well. Is it Eintracht Braunschweig? It is. Ken Reichel. Played it short. Stančić, the fans just want it in the box. And now it has come in the box, and here's Sané! Now there's a bit of goalkeeping, there's Dimichele Sanchez! Saarbrücken look at the clock, but Braunschweig just want to celebrate. Fabio Dimichele Sanchez sweeps it into the corner, and the free kick for Saarbrücken doesn't look so clever now. That could be a huge goal. The coaching staff are at each other. Saarbrücken's team up on the pitch. Braunschweig celebrating right in front of them. Alois Schwarz, the first thing he did was look at his watch and question why there was a little bit more than the additional minute. Here's Sané, and they appealed for a penalty, but Dimichele Sanchez swept it in anyway. I wonder if Brunke did handball it. He's got his arm out, actually, so that would have been an interesting VAR decision. And it's past the despairing gloves of Philipp Menzel in it. Oh, that could be the biggest goal of their season. Alois Schwarz wanted half-time and extra time. Braunschweig, instead, finally have a home goal. And that would be enough to protect them and keep them up. We've had a red card too for one of Saarbrücken's coaching team who just couldn't contain himself. So much at stake here. Saarbrücken hoping to win back a place in the Zweite Bundesliga, a place they haven't been since 2000. Off we go again. And after, well over 120 minutes when you consider how much stoppage time we've played on the end of the first and the second, Eintracht Braunschweig finally have themselves a goal. Fabio Dimichele Sanchez, of all people. Saarbrücken have a couple of former Braunschweiger in their ranks, but the one man picked up from Saarbrücken last summer is the man whose goal might just have condemned his old side to another season in the third tier. Unless they can try and force something with 10 men. Tim Sevilla. Is that a free kick? No. There's probably a stealer. Taki. Sané. Nice little dummy. Philly, there's a foul. There's another yellow card. Sabo eating up some time. Not been the easiest night for him since coming on. He hasn't really changed the game as much as he would have liked to. Krüger. For Bichsel. Kaufmann. His crossing has not been of the highest order so far. Sevilla. So well to mastermind the comeback normal time, take us to extra time. Not sure how much is left in the tank though. Elijah Klan puts it in. Headed away. Survey with the throw. He might leave it actually for Big Sil. It's going to be Kluger. Surveyor will make his way towards the edge of the box instead. Kluger. It's a little foul off the ball. And the referee's happy to let things play. Here's Wilhelm. Having sat back in the entirety of the first period of extra time. The Saarbrücken who are doing all the attacking in this second so far. Kluger trying to force his way through. He does. Now it's Eintracht Braunschweig who sense they have something to protect. One more goal from Saarbrücken will take it to penalties. They're winning 2-1 on the night, but at the moment that is not enough to go through. Thanks to Eintracht Braunschweig's 2-0 win in Saarbrücken, down near the French border 4 days ago. It's a long journey back for the 2,000 or so that have come up for this. Surveyor has done really, really well. Oh, Tim Surveyor very nearly pulled the trigger. That's great work indeed from Viktacic. Down goes Taki. Nothing doing. Pistol still looks full of running. Sontheimer. They're asking many more questions in this second period. Saarbrücken, it's gone all the way through. Brunke can't set it up. And Schmidt prods it wide. Well, in anything, Kai Brunke could have popped for goal himself. This is their best chance so far since the second goal. Just didn't seem to be able to get it out of his feet. Paul Jäckel in the way, and in the end he tried to lay it off to a teammate. That had the potential to make things difficult again for Eintracht Braunschweig. Plenty of them out on their feet. At least Viktacic, who has given everything. Various members of the coaching staff going through the ringer. Here they come. Richmond Taxi. Oh, he's got it all the way back. What a moment that could have been for Saarbrücken, who's had nothing to celebrate since coming off the bench. And he just didn't connect with it. Sontheimer. Surveyor. Sontheimer again. Up from the back is Khan. Not playing like a side who've got 10 men. Pixel. Brunke. Oh, Krieger! What a huge moment and a huge save from Hoffmann. He's already got one from the spot. That could have been taking us to penalties, and he knows it. Against his old side, with a clear side of goal. Florian Krüger cannot pull the trigger. That's such a big save from Ron Torben Hoffmann. Did everything right. Hit it with meat too. It's just been repelled by a really good save. If he goes across the goalkeeper, it's probably in. That's one he'll be reliving when he goes to bed tonight. Sontheimer. It is a dangerous tactic to sit back. Saarbrüken are hungry, expectant. Now, Graham Philippe ploughing a lonely furrow. He's away from Kahn. The Frenchman is still going into the area. Just not enough to cut it back. Can't be much left in the tank. It is getting ragged and stretched. He's too desperate. Eintracht Braunschweig close to maintaining their position. Saarbrüken, almost 20 years since they were last a Zweite Bundesliga side. That is right over the top of Brunke. Jakcic has cleared it, but at what cost to Saarbrücken's number 9? It's not going to help the mood down there, is it? Over the top he goes. It's a crunching landing. There's going to be some bumps and bruises to nurse for the remainder of the game. Alois Schwarz is checked to the fourth official again. It looks like Jürgen Lüginger, who's their sporting director, has now sat down, having previously been the man in conversation with Richard Hempel. He's been as busy as the referee, tonight's fourth official. Krause. An experienced head is just what they need at this moment. He asked for courage, Alois Schwarz. They've certainly shown that in the second period of normal time. And they've shown it in the second period of extra time, but in the first they sat back, and ultimately punished by one of their former players. Now, can they thread it through? So his passing's been excellent. Bigson. Here it comes again. Jakcic away, anywhere will do. Surveyor. Does he line one up? He does, you know. Oh, that was heading for the corner. It's another big save from Torben Hoffmann. One of Saarbrücken's most impressive players. Very nearly takes us to penalties. They've had their moments, but Torben Hoffmann has had his. And that is why Saarbrücken remain in the deficit. Surveyor with the corner as the German police march out to make sure of order at the end of the game. In comes the ball, there's the header, and here's the follow-up. Got to be careful. Schmidt crowded out, and Hoffmann drops on it. And they have ridden their luck, Eintracht Braunschweig. Saarbrücken have thrown everything at this. Krause launching himself at Schmidt and the ball, and then dropping on Torben Hoffmann, who has done his bit as much as Di Michele Sanchez to try and get them over the line, but they're not there yet. Wilhelm up into the air. That's headed back, and it's another corner. Nervy from Jekyll. It is not there yet. They didn't feel it was, even after a 2-0 away advantage in the first leg. They certainly didn't feel it was at half-time. And at full-time they knew that they had simply not been good enough. And Saarbrüken were on the cusp of something special. They might still be, because they've been knocking on the door in this second period. Zidane with his header at the near post. Sontheimer. Surveyor has to go back in from the young Albanian. What do they have left in the tank, these two? Sontheimer turns it forward again. Surveyor at the far post. Bixel at the far post. There's another good clearance. Alois Schwarz on the edge of his technical area. Saarbrüken will keep it in. Bixel for Elijah Khan. Everybody waiting. Multhaupt. Multhaupt again. Is he fouled? Yes, he is. A very tired-looking challenge from Saarbrüken, which means they have to mass again and try and repel one more Saarbrüken set piece. Up comes Mensa. The keeper, added nuisance value. Sontheimer, the skipper, pops it in. All eyes on Tobias Stieler if this doesn't go well. Will he launch it long and try and catch the keeper? And he has. Mensa still making up ground. There's two there, and that is going to dribble in, and Ryan Philippe has done it. They went long, and now the party is going to go on long into the night. Eintracht Braunschweig have saved themselves, finally. It has been a long, hard night, but finally they've got it over the line, literally and figuratively. It's a brilliant assist from the goalkeeper, who could have kept a hold of it, popped it out of play, done something sensible. Instead, he spots Ryan Philippe. He waits, and then he launches it perfectly. Surveyor is back there, but he's got Taki proving a pain, and Ryan Philippe slots it home. The man for the big occasion has delivered once again, just as we enter 4 minutes of stoppage time. It is too much now. You can't see the score graphic, but it is 2-2 on the night, 4-2 to Eintracht Braunschweig on aggregate. And that eliminates any doubt about the outcome. It has been a brave, courageous performance by the third-tier side, who fought back to 2-2, who sat back in the first period of extra time to try and soak up some pressure. But just before that, they have very nearly taken us to penalties. Knocking on the door, Ron Torben Hoffmann pulling off a couple of fine saves to keep it closed. These playoffs still about end-of-season drama, edge-of-your-seat stuff. It has been the third-tier side creating headlines in the last few years. This time, they'll get plenty of credit, but it'll be Eintracht Braunschweig who can celebrate at the end of this stoppage time. In it comes again. There's a little chest off, and Schmidt fires one over. Those two have linked up really nicely. He went with mobility with Kruger in the early stages of the game. The way Brunke and Schmidt have linked up. Alois Schwartz might well be thinking he could have deployed them both from the off. Templeman forward. Sané with a little layoff. Surveyor is going to get there. He's certainly enhanced his reputation. And he's still going on here. Ball out wide is the most sensible option. There's the deflected one that needs dealing with. It's another wonderful bit of goalkeeping. Oh, they have had their moments, Saarbrüken. It is a contest that will live long in the memory. Certainly here from Torben Hoffmann. Schmidt has done everything he can. He set up their second goal to take us to extra time. He's had a couple of big moments in this second period of extra time. Plenty of Braunschweig fans are getting out. They think they've done it. There's the header from Brünker. It'll be another corner. These are never easy for the side trying to preserve their status. They feel like the ones who've got everything to lose. And the third tier side with everything to gain. Surveyor's corner is too high. There is full time.